And today I'll be presenting our work on analyzing massive unstructured data sets using graph analytics and AI. Katana Graph is architected to handle massive graphs. We have tested Katana Graph with many large datasets, including publicly available ones. For example, the largest publicly available dataset is a web crawl from Web Data Commons, which was published in 2012. And we have tested Katana Graph with this dataset, which has 3.5 billion vertices and 128 billion edges. Katana Graph delivers unmatched performance. It is an order of magnitude or more faster than competing solutions. So it is 10 to 100 times faster versus competing solutions. Katana Graph is also architected for massive scalability. We have used Katana Graph on open cloud HPC clusters like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We have also used Katana Graph on supercomputers like the Stampede cluster in Texas Advanced Computing Center. And we have scaled Katana Graph on it up to 256 machines of that cluster. The other advantage of Katana Graph is that it handles a diverse variety of applications. So we have seen applications in health and life sciences, financial identity management, intrusion detection, electronic design automation, even high performance computing applications like 3D mesh generation. So the reason Katana Graph can handle all of these applications is that it is architected to do many kinds of graph applications: graph querying, graph analytics, graph AI, graph mining, all of these applications. Graphs are available in a wide variety of data sets. For example, if you can look at an airline route map, it can be viewed as a graph. So there are nodes. The airports can be viewed as nodes, and the connections or direct flights between these airports can be viewed as the edges of this graph. And these edges of these graphs can have certain weights. For example, what is the flying time between these cities, what is the cost to fly between these cities, and so on. And as you can see in this graph, some of the nodes or the hubs in the graph can have an order of magnitude more edges than the other nodes in the graph. So such a distribution is known as a power law distribution. And typically many real world data sets have this power law distribution, degree distribution. For example, web crawls, social networks, there are these high degree nodes or these hub nodes which have an order of magnitude more edges than the other nodes. And on such graphs, you can run many queries. For example, we may want to find what are the shortest or cheapest flights between two specific cities, say Austin and Edmonton. And all of these things can be done in Katana Graph. There are also other kinds of data sets which can be viewed as graphs. For example, medical knowledge data sets can be viewed as property graphs. In these data sets, there are many different kinds of nodes or types of nodes. For example, there are compounds and essays in this data set. So this data set, which I'm showing you on the right side, is the schema for that data set. It is a data set which is publicly available called ChemDL. And this is a knowledge graph, medical knowledge graph data set. So there are 15 million measurements, bioactivity measurements. And as I was telling, there are different kinds of nodes. So there are 1.8 million distinct compounds and essays in this graph. There are also other kinds of nodes, as you can see in this figure. And they are annotated with distinct cell lines. So these nodes can have distinct properties, and even the edges can have distinct types. So for example, there is a Has target, there is a Has molecule edge, and there's a Has compound record edge, and so on. So in these graphs, there are many other queries you can run. So for example, what might be useful is to know what drugs can I prescribe for malaria that are not known to have adverse side effects on kidney functions. You can use such medical knowledge data sets to query such things, and we can use Katana Graph to do that. We believe Graph AI is the next frontier. So for example, graph analytics and machine learning, there's a close interplay between this. So we can use graph analytics to compute graph metrics or labels on nodes and edges in the graph. And then we can build predictive graph AI models using these graph metrics or labels. Once we build the model, then we can score and classify the data. And once we classify the data, we can again explore the graph and compute new metrics using these machine learning results. Right? So there is this close interplay between graph analytics and machine learning. And there are many traditional machine learning applications like deep learning and AI, like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. And for all of these things, for graph datasets, we can use metrics or computed by graph engines or graph analytic engines for machine learning purpose. And Katana Graph is integrated well with existing machine learning solutions to provide this value. Katana Graph is also handles graph-specific AI. So there are graph neural networks, there are graph mining applications, there are graph analytics. So all of these are different graph AI techniques. So for example, recommender systems can be viewed as a graph AI problem as well, and we can provide more efficient solutions by doing so. And as I was mentioning, we can engineer features for machine learning and AI applications using graph analytics. There are also graph AI specific problems like finding graph embeddings or doing link prediction, node classification, and some of these techniques can be done by using graph neural networks and graph transformer networks. In this talk, I'll specifically focus on graph neural networks and graph transformer networks, and I'll be providing some more details of those techniques. So first, let's talk about graph neural networks. So in graph neural networks, the task is to classify nodes or do link prediction, predict whether two nodes have an edge in between them, or to detect if two subgraphs are similar. So the end goal or the task for training is, if it is node classification, we need to be able to predict the type of a given node. Say, what is the community that a given Reddit post belongs to. If it is link prediction, it is to predict whether two nodes are connected to each other. So whether two products should be purchased together, right? So we are trying to figure out whether to help customers to see if there are these two products are typically purchased together, so we can provide a suggestion based on that. The other task is to do network similarity, where you're trying to detect if two subgraphs are similar, right? And this can be used in many different techniques as well, to detect anomalies, to detect frauds in a network, and so on. So to do this, we can design graph neural networks. So in graph neural networks, you have obviously heard of traditional convolutional neural networks or deep neural networks. The main change with graph neural networks is there's a graph convolution layer. So in images, a convolution is well defined, right? So you're looking at, for each cell in an image, you look at your neighbors and you look at the neighboring cells and you do a convolution on that. Similarly, for a graph, we can define a graph convolution, which in a graph, it will look at its neighbors. So for a given node, it will look at all its neighbors. So nodes which are edges to that node, and we can do a convolution based on those nodes. So the difference with respect to image is, for every cell in an image, it has the same number of neighboring cells. Whereas in a graph, for every node in a graph, each node might have different number of edges. So the graph convolution is slightly different. But once you have this graph convolution layer, you can combine it with other traditional neural network layers like activation functions, regularizations, or dropouts, and build a graph neural network out of this. So in a typical graph neural network, you could have graph convolution followed by an activation function, followed by regularization, and then another graph convolution, and so on. Right? So it is composed of these layers. So typically you might have 2 or 3 graph convolutions in a useful neural network model. So once we build this model, so we can train this model based on some given data sets. And when we are training this, we can train them for specific tasks, whether it be for node classification, link prediction, or network similarity. The output of this graph neural network are node embeddings. Given those nodes, an embedding is mapping a node to a k-dimensional space. So there is a k-dimensional vector which represents a node. So once we map a node to a point in this k-dimensional space, then we can use it for future prediction tasks. And once we map the nodes in this way, we can also embed edges. So we can combine the endpoints of the node embeddings So an edge has two endpoints. We can combine the embeddings of those to get the embedding for an edge. Similarly, we can combine the embeddings of both the node and edges in the subgraph to get an embedding for a subgraph. Right? So in all of these cases, we are either mapping a node, an edge, or a subgraph to a point in a k-dimensional space. And then once we map it to that space, then we can use that point to do classification. Right? Either node classification or link prediction or network similarity. So Katana graph provides efficient graph neural network execution. So here I'm presenting you results on Stampede cluster, the same one that I mentioned earlier, which is on Texas Advanced Computing Center. And each machine in this cluster has Intel Xeon processors, Skylake processors, with 2.5 gigahertz cores, and it has 48 cores and 156 GB of DRAM. Here I'm presenting you results for 3 different data sets. So the Reddit dataset has where nodes are Reddit posts, and the task here is to classify these nodes into communities. So we want to determine which community each Reddit post belongs to. And the edges in this graph are connecting posts if the same user has commented on both posts. OGBN products is Amazon product co-purchasing network. So the nodes are products, and the edges between products exist if they are purchased together. Right, so we can do link prediction in this. We can predict if two products can be purchased together. And the papers graph is a graph of academic papers. So the nodes are papers, and edges between papers exist if they are cited together. Right. So here are the 3 results. So on the x-axis, I'm presenting you results for 2 different systems. The red bars correspond to Katana execution, whereas the other color represents to the other system, which is an existing competing solution. The y-axis is showing you the average training time for each epoch, and the x-axis is also showing you execution on different number of machines. So 32 machines here corresponds to 32 machines on the Stampede cluster, which each machine has 48 cores. The first thing to notice is that Katana graph is much faster than the other system. Right? So it is clearly faster even if we were using the same hardware resources. Right? The second thing to notice is that Katana scales well. The other system does not necessarily scale as we add more hardware resources to it. But with Katana, as we add more hardware resources to the system, the average training time for each epoch reduces. So Katana scales out graph neural networks. So it is a fast, distributed and parallel execution of GNN architectures. So as you can see, it improves training time and it does not have any accuracy loss compared to existing solutions. And the results that are presented here are for a specific graph neural network model or architecture known as GraphSage, and we are doing node classification in this case. All results presented here use a global mini batch of 64K, and we are using 3 layers with neighbor sampling. Next, let's look at graph transformer networks. In graph transformer networks, typically these are applied to graphs where there are already some labels or types on nodes and edges in the graph. So for example, if you consider a movie graph where there are actors, movies, directors, there are some types on the node. So not all nodes are the same type. So in the previous case, all nodes are either products, all nodes are either papers, or all nodes are either posts, right? So in this case, there are different kinds of nodes in the same graph. So in medical knowledge datasets, for example, what I mentioned earlier, such things are common. So there are compounds, essays, so there are different kinds of nodes, different types of nodes in the same graph. And in these graphs, we can define what is known as a meta path. Right? So the path will have different types of nodes or edges in the graph. So for example, in the movie data set, one meta path is going from an actor to a movie to a director. And another meta path would be going from a director to a movie to an actor. So these two are distinct meta paths. And it is useful to learn what are the useful meta paths in this graph. Right? So some meta paths are actually useful in doing node prediction or node classification. Some are not, and it depends on the end prediction task. Again, you could be doing node classification, link prediction, or network similarity. And depending on those tasks, different meta paths might be useful. So in a graph transformer network, we can learn these metapaths. So we can build a convolution layer such that you pick different kinds of edges and you combine these edges with different weights, and then these weights can be learned. So that is what this part of the picture is showing you. So once we learn the different weights, so we can assign a weight for each metapath, and then we can build a graph where each metapath is a weighted edge between the end points of that metapath, and the weight corresponds to the weight that we have learned in the while trying to determine whether it's a useful embedding or not. More useful metapaths will have a higher weight, less useful metapaths will have a smaller weight. And then once we have this graph, then we can use traditional graph neural networks like graph convolution network with a specific architecture. We can use that to do further, to build the node embeddings corresponding to the nodes. Right? And once we build these embeddings, it can be used for any of the three kinds of prediction tasks that I mentioned earlier. The advantage with the graph transformer network as compared to a graph neural network is that it can handle these different kinds of types, right? Different kinds of node types. And Katana graph also performs well for graph transformer networks. Here I am presenting the results on a single machine. Each machine is an Intel Cascade Lake processor with 2.1 GHz. It has 40 cores and 256 GB of RAM. I am presenting you results for two different data sets. One is a academic paper data set where there are different kinds of notes, papers, authors, and conferences. And there are different kinds of relationships as well. There are relationships which connect paper to author, and there are relationships which connect paper to conference. And the task here is to classify author nodes into research areas. So we are doing node classification again. In the other movie data set, I mentioned this earlier, so there are different kinds of nodes, movies, actors, directors. And there are different kinds of relationships or edges. So there's an edge between movie and actor, there's an edge between movie and director. And the task here is to classify the movie nodes into genres. Here I am presenting you results for two solutions. One is Katana, which is in red, and in blue we have PyTorch, which is the existing solution for graph transformer networks. Here I am presenting you results on another data set, ACM as well. So there are three data sets here. So ACM is a paper data set similar to academic data set similar to TVLP. So the training time is on the y-axis and lower is better. So as you can see, Katana graph is an order of magnitude or 2 orders of magnitude faster than existing solutions. On the right side, I'm showing you the accuracy, and higher is better in this case. So our Katana graph either matches the accuracy or is even better. And all these results are without mini batching and sampling as in the original graph transformer paper. So Katana graph scales up graph transformer networks. So it provides fast parallel execution for GTN architectures. It significantly reduces the training time and there is no accuracy loss compared to existing solutions. To summarize, as I mentioned earlier, Katana graph is architected to handle massive graphs, to deliver unmatched performance, and to deliver massive scalability. In addition, Katana supports a diverse set of applications. Specifically, we support many graph AI and ML models. In this talk, I showed how Katana scales out graph neural networks and how it scales up graph transformer networks. With that, I'd like to conclude this talk. I thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at marketing@katanagraph.com. Thank you.